From stories across the globe to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Sharifa Tahir.
Good evening, I'm Ovin Hettiarachi, and here are today's headlines.
The president assures that during his tenure, the country's media freedom will not be influenced. Steps to be taken to grant employment to 100,000 youth with minimum education qualifications in low-income earning families. The Swiss embassy staff member prohibited from leaving the country until the 17th of this month. Witness statements to be re-recorded pertaining to the allegations against Dr. Shafi. The Treasury approves the payment of bonuses for employees of state-owned statutory entities. Britain votes in parliamentary election.
We move on to those and other stories in detail now. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says he can definitely assure that during his tenure, the country's media freedom will not be influenced. The president made these comments when he met with the heads of media institutions at the Presidential Secretariat today. The heads of electronic and print media were present. The president said when looking at his victory, it can be seen that people voted with a lot of hopes. These include efficiency and the services the public are entitled to receive from politicians and public officials. They also hope that corruption will be eradicated. In addition, they hope for economic development in which an environment is created so that all communities can live together. The president also stated he can give the assurance that under his government, the media will be given freedom. He further stated there is no issue with criticizing the wrongdoings in the country. The president also notes now a trend has taken shape in which the youth have come forward without even being told to paint bare surfaces and maintain cleanliness. The president says these are tendencies that have derived from society itself, and it shows what a lot of hope the country has. He believes if the media encouraged such expectations to go forward, it will be a boost to achieving expectations. Focusing his attention on the Swiss embassy incident, the president said the local media did not get involved. However, the foreign media are concocting a story. He says neither the government nor any government institution is linked to the incident. The president says it is clear that the incident has been fabricated. He pointed out it shows as a country we are being pushed to one side. Therefore, as an economy, the country needs to be opened. He also says the country needs to get together with other countries and act. He notes in all these measures, the image of the country counts. Therefore, the responsibility of creating the image of the country lies with the media.
මේවට බලපාන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒ ප්‍රතිරූපය හදාදීමේ වගකීමක් මම හිතන්නේ අපේ මාධ්‍යවලට තිබෙනවා.
Meanwhile, the Afghanistan ambassador in Sri Lanka, M. Ashraf Haidari, called on the president today. The ambassador extended his good wishes to the president.
Cabinet approval has been received for the proposal to put forward by President to establish a multi-purpose development task force to grant employment to 100,000 youth of low-income families who possess minimum educational qualifications. A department in this regard will be established and it will commence operations from the 15th of January. This decision was announced at a media briefing held to announce cabinet decisions. Co-cabinet spokesman Minister Ramesh Patirana said under the task force, 100,000 youth of low socio-economic levels who are O-level qualified will be absorbed into training courses, and after 6 months of training, those who are successfully complete their training will be given the opportunity to work in relevant sections of public service. He further stated the task force will function to fill vacancies of skilled labour across all sectors in the future. Cabinet approval has also been received to maintain a supply of rice to the market over the next 2 to 3 months without shortage and to determine the maximum retail price of a kilo of rice at 98 rupees. The Cabinet of Ministers has also approved the policy decision put forward to increase the number of national schools to 1,000 and to establish new trilingual schools. Thereby, 3 schools per divisional secretariat zones will be developed and upgraded as national schools with all required facilities. In addition, within the next 2 years, the Ministry of Education plans to commence 20 national schools catering to trilingual educational requirement. Minister Dallas Perumal said there are 10,175 schools in the country and only 374 of these schools are national schools. He further stated that there are 330 divisional secretariat zones in the country and 120 of these do not have national schools. Taking into consideration this situation, the President and the Cabinet of Ministers unanimously decided to create 1,000 national schools. He further stated currently a committee has been appointed to identify schools to be upgraded. When selecting students for university entrance, it has been decided to introduce a new scientific method on school basis instead of the district basis of the Z-score system. Cabinet approval has been received for expert committee comprising of veterans in respective subject areas to be appointed to recommendations to be given.
In the meantime, the overseas travel ban imposed on Swiss Embassy staff member Ghanaian barrister Francis, who was allegedly abducted, has been extended until the 17th of this month. Colombo Chief Magistrate Lanka Jayaratne today ordered that a report on the mental health condition of the staff member be submitted to court. The case involved in Swiss Embassy staff member Ghanaian barrister Francis was taken up for hearing this evening. The officers of the CID who are investigating the alleged incident and on behalf of the Attorney General's Department senior lawyer Janaka Bandara appeared in court. A group of lawyers including attorneys Sudarshana Gunawardana and Upul Kumaraperumal appeared on behalf of Ghanaian barrister Francis. Attorney at law Janaka Bandara stated in court that the judicial medical officer recommends it suitable for the staff member's mental health condition to be assessed by a team of psychiatrists and a report be presented to the court. The attorney sought the permission of the court in this regard. Granting permission to the request, the magistrate ordered the JMO's office to produce the staff member before a team of psychiatrists. Answering a question put forward by the magistrate, the senior lawyer said the staff member can be sent for a medical examination tomorrow. He further stated the report of the previous medical examination and the report of the medical examination, which is to be conducted tomorrow, can be produced in court on the 17th of this month. Appearing on behalf of Ghanaian barrister Francis, attorney at law Upul Kumaraperumal said that his client has recorded statements at the CID on a number of days and also stated that she is in poor health. At that point, the magistrate questioned as to whether she has been taken ill due to interrogation by the CID. The attorney responded saying that is not the reason for her ill health and requested the court to give consideration to her health condition and look into the possibility of recording future statements at the official residence of the Swiss ambassador. The senior lawyer representing the Attorney General's Department stated he is totally against granting permission to such a request. The magistrate explained the Swiss Embassy residence is a location connected to a different country. Therefore, under the Sri Lankan law, legal issues prevent the recording of statements at such a location. The magistrate inquired from the attorneys as to whether Ghanaian barrister Francis is in a critical or disabled condition which prevents her from reporting to the CID. Attorney Upul Kumaraperumal said she is not in a critical condition. Considering the points raised, the magistrate said the recording of statements should take place according to the usual procedure at the Criminal Investigation Department. Attorney at law Upul Kumaraperumal said various parties have begun acting in an insulting and threatening manner against him and the group of attorneys representing the staff member in question. The magistrate questioned as to why a complaint was not made with the police if such threats had been received. The attorney said statements that could compromise this case are being aired continuously over the media. He said such statements are prejudicial to the trustworthiness of his client. Therefore, the attorney requested the court to issue an order to the CID to conduct an inquiry on prejudicial content released to the media. At this point, the magistrate stated if such prejudicial content is being published in the media, Attorney Kumara Peruma should be notified to take steps to forward such information to the CID. Considering all submissions made, the magistrate ordered the CID to present a further report in court on the 17th of this month. Meanwhile, Ghanaian barrister Francis has been notified to arrive at the CID at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow for further recording of evidence.
Co-cabinet spokesman Minister Ramesh Patirana made remarks over the alleged abduction incident related to Swiss embassy employee at the cabinet briefing held this morning.
Now, what is the progress that has been made on the investigation of this Swiss embassy employee? I learned that even the US embassy is not aware of this.
Now, Foreign Minister Honorable Dinesh Gunawardena has made an official statement about it. We want to ensure that we retain very good and close relationship with the Switzerland embassy, and also we want to ensure the government stance on this. We are friends of all in relation to international community. We are friends of all. We are enemies of none. And in relation to that alleged incident, all the investigations are carried out in a very open and transparent manner. And in that regard, we want to state the fact that government has been carrying out all the investigations, and also everybody is happy about the investigations, and has come to light that the alleged victim, she has made contradictory statements in relation to this incident. So it's very clear, we are of the view that this move was to bring government into disrepute. Whatever said and done, we don't know whether the embassy is aware of that, but it is very clear that somebody has tried to bring the government into disrepute. We are very clear about our stance. We are not involved in this incident, and we carry out the full investigation, and that official statement has already come out from the Foreign Ministry.
Doesn't the government taking action against her?
No, we have to conclude the investigation, so still they are at the investigation level. So until such time we conclude all the investigations, we take evidence from all the stakeholders, we can't come to a concrete conclusion.
The court has granted permission for the re-recording of evidence in the case pertaining to the charges levelled against Dr. Mohammed Shafi Shihabdin of the Kurunagala Teaching Hospital. The court granted leave for this process upon a request put forward by the CID when the case was taken up before the magistrate courts today. Investigations will be carried out under an assistant superintendent of police. Charges have been levelled against the doctor with regard to unlawful sterilisation of women, maintaining irregular accounts and changing the bedhead ticket to swap a baby and thereafter selling the baby. The case will next be taken up for hearing on the 16th of January. Meanwhile, the Sinhala organisation arrived before the Sri Lanka Medical Council to inquire into the progress of the complaints filed against Dr. Shafi Shihabdin.
A media conference was held today briefing regarding the Korean employment permit system today. South Korea commenced the employment permit system in 2004 and signed a MOU with Sri Lanka as a manpower sending country during the same year. Residence Director of Korean Human Resources Development Institution, Kim Won-sok, praised Sri Lanka's effort to send workers to Korea through the EPS system, which has been established as an efficient employment management system for foreign workers. It has been estimated that the population of Sri Lankan workers is 22,000 at present, and around 65,000 Sri Lankans were sent to Korea for employment.
I met a lot of the Sri Lankan people, and also I visited many provinces from the Galle to the Trincomalee and also the central areas. And I felt that they are really interested in the EPS system, and also they want to get a job in Korea. Through those meeting with the people, I felt some strong responsibility for them. Also, this year, 2,282 people applied in March this year. And among them, we finished the first round almost 4 months and 4.5 months from May to September. So it is a long period. Almost 65 1,000 Sri Lankan people sent Korea for 15 years, from 2004 to 2019. Through those programs, we were able to provide 21 employment opportunity for them. The 21, the figures is small, but still I think it is a stepping stone to grow more the following years. I want to evaluate these programs was successful.
The Treasury has approved the payment of bonuses for the year 2019 for employees of state-owned statutory entities and state-owned companies in which the government holds full ownership. The Ministry of Finance, Economic and Policy Development says the Treasury has issued a circular in this regard to all ministry secretaries, the heads of state-owned companies and the chairpersons of statutory bodies. The entities that are eligible to pay bonuses have been instructed to pay bonuses for all staff for the year 2019 based upon the financial records of 2018 in the same way the provision was granted last year. Circular number 3/2018, issued by the Department of State-Owned Enterprises on the 7th of December 2018, is valid for this purpose. The Ministry of Finance states permission is allowed for the relevant state-owned institutions to pay bonuses for the year 2019 under all statutory payments that need to be paid from state institutions, even when a board of directors has not been appointed to such institutions. In the meantime, the United National Party organised several media briefings in Colombo today. MP Ranjit Madhumabandara said UNP supporters at village level are requesting for MP Sajid Premadasa to be the UNP candidate. He further stated at the committee they call for MP Premadasa to be given the party leadership. Otherwise, the MP noted they disapprove of a committee being appointed for one individual to be the candidate and one individual to be the party leader. MP Thalata Thukorala said they don't need to attend committee meetings continuously, as yesterday they made their stance clear. She noted there is a proposal on appointing a leadership committee to engage in the future tasks of the party. MP Thukorala said they totally reject the proposal as they are not prepared to work with such a leadership committee.
Dr. Nalaka Godaheva, who is a member of the selection board appointed to recommend suitable individuals for administrative posts of state institutions, speaking to the national television, said the objective of the government is to appoint qualified and skilled individuals to head of state institutions and in order to implement government policies. Dr. Nalaka Godaheva said the previous method was the cabinet of ministers is appointed. The relevant subject matter ministers make the appointment for the institutions that come under the ministry. The public have raised complaints that certain appointees are not suitable for the posts. The objective of the selection board is to change this situation. He also stated, as this process began, the Presidential Secretariat instructed all ministries to call for resignation of heads of state corporation and state-owned institutions, and to appoint acting officials to oversee the day-to-day functions of such organizations. Therefore, the operations of these entities will not come to a standstill. Dr. Godaheva explains the subject minister, the Prime Minister or the President has the power to make appointments upon their discretion. However, the purpose of the selection board was not to interfere with that decision, but to evaluate whether the proposed appointee is qualified and knowledgeable for the post. He hopes that by the end of the year, all vacancies at top posts will be filled.
The Constitutional Council has granted approval for the appointment of Mrs. M.D.S. Aberatna as an appeals court judge. The President nominated Mrs. Aberatna's name to fill the vacancy that arose due to the retirement of appeals court judge Mrs. Deepali Vijay Sundara. Thereby, when the Constitutional Council convened today, the nomination was approved. This is the first occasion that the Constitutional Council convened after the new government assumed power. Speaker Karajaya Surya chaired the session.
Director of the Maharagama Apeksha Hospital, Vasant Dissanayake, alleges that the organization by the name of Fight Cancer Team has engaged in fundraising racket on the pretext of purchasing radiology equipment for the hospital. The hospital director says the funds are not being credited to the account held under the name of the hospital.
Maharagama
Speaking at a media briefing held in the hospital today, Director of the Maharagama Apeksha Hospital, Vasanta Dissanayaka, said an individual by the name of Mohammed has been raising funds to provide the hospital with radiology equipment. This individual has previously provided a PET scan machine to the hospital. However, the hospital director alleges this time the individual has begun collecting 1 billion rupees and has not mentioned from where the equipment will be purchased or what the equipment is. The hospital director says although the individual has said the funds are being credited to the account of Apeksha Hospital, he can certify that these funds are not being received into the account under the hospital name. He further states he has notified President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Defence Secretary Kamal Gunaratne in writing, calling for an independent investigation into the proceeds of the collected funds.
The All Ceylon Customs Services Association has requested of the Minister of Finance, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, to reconsider the agreement reached in establishing the scanning system at the customs container terminal at the Colombo port. The association points out such a system will improve the efficiency of the port. However, during the previous government, attempts were made to procure the system according to an agreement reached with a foreign company, and thereby a disadvantageous situation was created for the country. Secretary to the All Ceylon Customs Services Association, J. Gunathilaka, says the foreign company has installed their scanning system in the premises of the port and the terminal is availing their services. A payment is being made for the service. He explained according to the conditions in the agreement, they need to scan 1,100 containers. However, such a large number of containers cannot be scanned through this system. Yet, the payment for 1,100 scans needs to be made at a cost of $10 per container. He points out thereby for an entire year, the minimum amount payable is $3.96 million. He notes they have still not arrived at the agreement as work at the terminal is not complete. However, when they enter into the agreement, they will have to abide by the conditions for 8 years, which is the validity period of the agreement.
හින්දා අපි මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂගෙන් මුදල් ඇමතිවරයා විදියට ඉල්ලා හිටිනවා වහාම මෙන්න මේ ගිවිසුම සංශෝධනය කරලා අලුත් ගිවිසුමක් යටතේ මෙන්න මේ ස්කෑන් කරන ක්‍රියාවලිය ඉදිරියට කරගෙන යන්න කියන ඉල්ලීම කරනවා.
Over the past few days, a delay in the transportation of goods within the premises of the Colombo port was reported. Minister Johnston Fernando engaged in an observation visit of the port to inquire into the situation. During the visit, it was revealed the reason for the delays was the defective container scanning system. The minister instructed the relevant sections to temporarily halt the scanning of containers by the use of the machine.
Lake House journalists alleged that the former head of the new media unit at Lake House has, in a bid to obtain political asylum in foreign countries, resorted to devious strategy by laying down false allegations to seek refuge behind political victimization. They say after the new government assumed power, no incident of political victimization have taken place so far. Further inquiries into the complaint made by him, alleging that he was threatened and assaulted, took place today. A number of Lake House journalists were present when the Colombo Fort Police took up the complaint for investigation.
In the meantime, the Colombo High Court today served the death sentence on 2 suspects found guilty of murder. Charges were levelled against them for stabbing a 17-year-old youth to death with a knife on the 12th of April 2001. The sentenced individuals are Gurusamy Milton and Kalatantrige Ruwan alias Aja, who are residents of Kotahena. The Attorney General had filed indictments against the duo at the Colombo High Court on charges of murder as a result of an argument turning violent in which the 17-year-old youth was stabbed. The Court of Appeals today stated the order on the course of action to be taken with regard to imported waste held in containers will be pronounced on the 18th of this month. The appeals court had previously ordered the government analyst to conduct an inquiry into the contents of the containers that are alleged to contain waste and prepare a report. However, the government analyst at a previous hearing informed court that the required facilities are not available to inspect the containers in question. The hearing of evidence in the case against 8 defendants, including Ali Roshan, who have been served indictments with regard to retaining 5 elephants in their possession illegally, commenced today before the Permanent High Court trial at Bar. Further witness testimonies will be held on the 16th of this month. The 39 suspects arrested on charges of vandalizing Buddha statues in Mavanala were produced before Mavanala District Magistrate Upul Rajakaruna today. The magistrate ordered the 19 suspects who have been detained and are in custody of the CID to be produced before court again on the 5th of March. The other 20 suspects, including 3 women who are currently detained at the Palakale and Kergal remand prisons, were ordered to be re-remanded until the 26th of December. In the meantime, Batticaloa District Secretary Manikam Udayakumar says steps are being taken to continue providing dry ration for the families adversely affected by the inclement weather. Thereby, steps have been taken to provide dry rations across 14 divisional secretariat zones. Meanwhile, State Minister Dilum Amanugama conducted an observation visit of the Sittandai and Kiran areas to look into the well-being of the families adversely affected. It is reported the transportation of passengers and goods in the Koravali and Pundualsena areas are being carried out by boat.
The OSHA price index closed at 6,099.96 points, increasing by 39.46 points, and the S&P SL20 index closed at 2,955.22 points, also increasing by 9.98 points at the end of trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange today. The turnover was 440 million rupees.
More on sports. The athletes who won prestige for Sri Lanka at the South Asian Games arrived in the island last night. They received a warm welcome from the officials of the Ministry of Sports and the Department of Sports Development at the airport. Around 600 athletes represented Sri Lanka at the South Asian Games that were underway in Nepal recently, competing in 27 events. The participants excelled in the athletic events, securing 15 gold, 11 silver and 8 bronze medals. This is the highest number of gold medals won by Sri Lanka in the athletic events of the Games after 1991.
That's it for tonight's English News broadcast. Thank you for joining us.
Have a pleasant night.
Good night.